Hello fellow video game collectors, and welcome to another pickups video. So I've recently been trying to collect all of the Pokemon games, as I would just love to have a complete Pokemon collection. So today I'm going to talk about some of the recent Pokemon games that I have been able to pick up. First, I recently did a trade with fellow YouTuber ConsoleKev, who has a great channel. You should definitely check it out. I'll have a link to it down in the description below. So from him I got a copy of Pokémon Emerald. So this is the last game of the third generation of the Pokemon games. It's the better version of that generation, with the other two games in that series being Ruby and Sapphire, which I currently don't have yet. So one of the big differences of Emerald in comparison to Ruby and Sapphire is that it includes the Battle Frontier, which wasn't in Ruby and Sapphire. So Battle Frontier, it's part of the post-game content where you can fight other trainers in like a battle arena. Also, some of the story has changed in this game in comparison to Ruby and Sapphire. Kevin also decided to toss in this extra game into the package, which is Dynasty Warriors 8. So this is yet another Dynasty Warriors game, a beat-em-up style game based in China. So apparently the combat in the series was improved a bit in this title, compared to some of the older ones. Each main character has their own unique attacks, and weapons are classified into certain affinity types to add some new strategy to the game. It makes it more of a paper, rock, scissors kind of format. And there's also this new Rampage ability that just lets you wipe deck with the enemies in the game. It's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the series. Then from a local video game shop, I found a loose copy of Pokémon Black, but I'm actually able to complete this copy from one of the empty cases that I got from the Mega Retro Bros a few pickup videos back. So this game, it is one of the pair of Generation 5 games, the other one being Pokémon White. Unlike most of the Pokemon generations, there isn't a third game to this pair of White and Black that is better or more improved than Black or White. Sort of like how Pokemon Emerald is, the better improved version over Ruby and Sapphire. So there isn't a third game like that for Black and White. This game does, however, force you to use only the newer Pokemon in this that's found in this new generation up until you beat the game, which is great, as it forces you to try out new Pokemon instead of doing what I always do, which is sticking with the same team of Pokemon that I've just always used over and over again throughout the series of Pokemon games. Then from GameStop, I used a buy two get one free deal to get even more Pokemon games. So the first game that I got was Pokemon White, and again I was able to complete this with the loose case that I got from the Mega Retro Bros. So again, this game, it's pretty much the same as Pokemon Black. The main difference between the two games is just that, like all Pokemon games, each version has their own exclusive Pokemon. There's also exclusive areas in these two games. In White, there is a forest called the White Forest, and in Black, there is a city called the Black City. Very unique names, but they're located in the same area of the game. It just depends on which version that you're playing, whether you get to go to the forest or the city. Then the second game that I got from GameStop was a copy of Pokemon White 2, which again is loose. So I'm able to complete it yet again because of the Mega Retro Bros with this empty case that I got from them. So Pokemon Black and White are the first and currently only games in the series of Pokemon to have direct sequels with Black and White 2. So the sequels of White 2 and Black 2, they take place 2 years after the first games of Black 1 and White 1. So you'll definitely want to play Black 1 or White 1 before you start playing Black 2 or White 2, since they are a direct continuation. Again, there are exclusive Pokemon to each version of the game, whether you're getting Black 2 or White 2. And since it still takes place in the same region, There's still the White Forest and the Black City, which are exclusive to their own version of the game. But apparently in this version you're able to get keys that unlock those areas in the other version of the game. So if you're in Black, you're able to unlock the White Forest and vice versa. Then the third game that I got was a loose copy of Pokemon Platinum, which unfortunately I don't have a case for. So like Pokemon Emerald being the third and better game in the third generation of Pokemon, Pokemon Platinum is the third and better game for the fourth generation of Pokemon games, with the other two games being Diamond and Pearl in that generation. So it is still pretty much very similar to Diamond and Pearl, but again just has a few different changes, to the story in the game. And similar to Pokemon Emerald, it also yet again introduces the Battle Frontier again for fighting other trainers. And there's also a new area called the Distortion World that wasn't in Diamond or Pearl. And you can also rebattle gym leaders after beating the Elite Four and completing the region Pokédex in this game. Then I went to Edward McKay's, one of my local video game shops, and I found a couple of games there. So for $14 I found a copy of Kirby Canvas Curse. Not a Pokemon game, but still a pretty good game worth checking out. It's a very interesting and unique Kirby game because it does not play like a traditional Kirby game. It's not the typical Kirby side-scrolling action platformer game. Instead, you are drawing lines on the screen, on the touch screen, to get Kirby to move and do certain things, go in a specific direction or attacks or whatever. So it's pretty good, and the controls are actually pretty well done, even though it's something new and unique to the series. So if you do find this interesting, I would recommend that you check out Kirby and the Rainbow Curse for the Wii U. And then for $55, I found a loose copy of Pokémon HeartGold. Yes, I did pay that much because I've been looking for this game for quite a while and I just haven't been able to find it for a reasonable price. So yet again, I was able to complete this game with another empty case that I got from the Mega Retro Bros. So this game, it's a remake of the original Pokemon Gold game for the Game Boy, which I just recently played and beat, which is a second generation Pokemon game. So it is a retelling of the original Pokemon Gold story, kind of like what Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green did for Pokemon Red and Blue. So this is technically a fourth generation Pokemon game. So you're able to trade Pokemon back and forth between the other fourth generation games, being Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And like the original game, you're able to travel to two regions in the game. After you beat the main game, you're able to go back and travel to the region that was from the original Pokemon and Blue games. So that makes this a very high selling point for this game, and is why a lot of people want this game. So there's also a Pokewalker that comes with this game, but I don't have it. It's just a glorified pedometer that is used with the game. Because of the inclusion of the Pokewalker, HeartGold actually came in a bigger, like, cardboard box than this DS case, so that both this DS case and the Pokewalker could fit in it together. I'm still missing that and a Pokewalker. It's kind of hard to find. So this game and Soul Silver are very sought after by Pokemon collectors. A lot of people think that this is just one of the best games in the series, and because of that, you'll definitely see it for sale for at least $50 in most places, and that's just loose. Then at one of my local pawn shops, I found a copy of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue for $10. So if you're familiar with the concept of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, then this is that, but it's just Pokemon themed. Mystery Dungeon games are essentially roguelike games where dungeons are randomly generated and you fight enemies in a turn-based manner, where on a turn you can either move or attack. You can only have 4 Pokemon with you in your party instead of the usual 6 that you would have in a traditional Pokemon game. Additionally, you are only controlling one Pokemon in your party. The rest are automatically controlled by the computer. There are no trainers. Instead, it's just a Pokemon game only about Pokemon interacting with each other. And also note that there is a paired version of this game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue. It's essentially the same game, but it was made for the Game Boy Advance instead of the DS. And finally, I got my brand new copies of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which I got from Amazon for $72 with the 20% Prime discount for pre-ordering. So these two games, they came with this special edition steel case. So there's the moon side and there's the sun, and then if you open it up, it's got you can see the artwork for the region. You know, it just absolutely looks beautiful. And I also got the strategy guide for these games as well. It's just a strategy guide. I don't believe this includes the Pokédex at all. And it also came with like some concept art that's really cool to look at. Just to give you a quick glimpse at some of the concept art that was included in this. So you've got, on one side of these, you've got some of the character designs from the game. And then if you look at the back side of these, then it's just got some beautiful pieces of art from the game. So these would look great if they were framed. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future. So these games, they look great. If you like Pokemon X or Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, then get this because you are going to love it. So I'm currently playing through Moon right now, and my fiance, she's going to play Sun. So these games are essentially based on the idea of a region that looks a lot like Hawaii, where it's made up of multiple islands. So far of what I've played, I really like some of the new quality of life features that they've added to the game, such as if a Pokemon is already in your Pokédex, then when you are fighting that Pokemon, it'll show you which of your moves are effective against it or not. And also having the map at the bottom of your screen is also really handy. It's also pretty interesting that the game clock in Pokemon Moon runs 12 hours different than Pokemon Sun. So when it is daytime in Sun, then the game is actually nighttime in Moon. It's also pretty cool that they have essentially done away with HMs, or the hidden machines in the game. So now you don't have to have a Pokemon in your game that is, you know, just simply your HM slave. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the older Pokemon games, you had to train your Pokemon HMs in order to get past certain areas of the game. For example, you had to teach Surf to a water Pokemon in order to swim across water areas to get to the next town. There's also no gyms in this game. They have been replaced by this trials system that they've added. Overall, I think the game is great so far. I haven't put a lot of hours into it, but I'm looking forward to just pouring a lot of hours into this game. Now, as for the main series of Pokemon games that I am missing, I still currently need cards for Pokemon Red, Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, and Pokemon Soul Silver. And I still need boxes and manuals and cases and whatever for some of the other games as well. And that's everything I got to show you guys today. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, as that always helps me out. If you have anything that you want to say about the Pokemon games that I talked about today, or any of the other games that I mentioned, then be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, then don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified of my new videos. And remember, you gotta get the power up to beat the game.